Hey, still Heather. Definitely still an alcoholic. I like to open the same, especially because I don't want to forget it later. All opinions and interpretations are solely those of the individual, which would be, have we gotten it? Have we figured it out? Who could it be? It could be you. Oh, yes, it is you. I only speak for myself. I'm Heather. I'm an alcoholic. I'm a drunk. I have a lot of things that run through my head. I also have been blessed to be in this program and to wake up every day and be fully aware that I'm an alcoholic who doesn't know how to survive without this program. So, but we all have our different outlets, and this is one of mine. And tonight, well, it's nighttime for me, we're going to review this. I thought, and if anyone has ever noticed in the background, just that little bit, and if not, maybe you're going to go back and be like, have I ever heard these sounds before? Tonight, I'm going to talk about coin JuJu. Now, most people are relatively for JuJu. You got a relative idea of your thoughts for it. My idea of JuJu, and for this, is really, it's not a negative thing. It is just the idea of like energies and putting those things into it, and the essence of carrying a strength into something. So when I say this, it is just a thing of like coin JuJu. It is a positive thing. So while coin JuJu is the overall, see, there's multiple parts to coin JuJu. So the first part I'm going to talk to you about is the holding of them, and going to tap into a little sub piece of that because there's a nice little story there. And then I want to talk about some old ones, you know, coins of history past. What about those? And the surrender coin. That's a fabulous thing. Then I'm going to share a little personal thing that happened to just coincide into this. And I don't really believe in coincidences. Let me say that in AA. If anything, I'll call it a godsidence, whatever. But God's usually much more abrupt with me. I prefer my God smacks because that's how I was raised. I'm kind of the person that needs it smacked up against me sometimes. So, but in any event, so I got that little bit at the end for you. But the coins and the rattles and the sounds and the things. So I absolutely love that there are the chips that go around. And for these monthly things, I love that there is an 18-month coin now. I call them coins. I know people call them medallions, whatever else. I call them coins. It's all the same. I love that. I love this stuff. However, I had no idea that they existed for a very long time. Very, very long time. Because that's not a thing that I grew up with. Like, nothing. You could raise your hand for your month and you were like, yes. And it was for like, just that meeting. And that's all you get. And that's all it is. And you're like, okay, all right. And that's it. There's no brouhahas and you're moving on. And so like when you get to that like 1 year, that 1 year mark, and you actually get like this thing that's like yours, and you get to hold it, and like it's real. Oh my God, it is, and it's mine. It's mine. I get to keep this. I get to, because like that's this tangible thing that I had. This thing that I could just right here. And by the way, service announcement, just so you know, it's the thing that I learned. These are not actually AA approved. They're not actually an AA thing. They're more like an AA tradition we created amongst ourselves. Like a little thing that we do to celebrate ourselves and recognize and to give ourselves these things. But it's kind of like the idea of how we have AA approved literature, and we use lots of literature, but they're not all AA approved. So it turns out these things, not that. However, that doesn't mean that we're still not using them and we're not going to keep using them. But they are not actually that. So I thought I would share that. That is the thing that I learned not very long ago, over the last year or so, and it was actually really interesting to learn. Also, if you would ever like to learn the history of this thing, feel free to comment and ask me, because its history is actually what I did with it before I knew it had that history. And I carried this and I held tight and I roped it and I loved it, and I just didn't know how to like not have this once I got it. And I work in a murder capital and I love it. That's a community that I want to be in. I went to Florida for a vacation. Everyone was so nice. By the end of the week, I was like, listen, first off, I've never heard anyone say my first name this many goddamn times. I don't even know if it's possibly in my life. And as far as being a transplant, I'm going to be perfectly frank with you. Your crime rate is simply not high enough for my comfort level. So I went back home where I could go be that. But you always had to keep in mind, like, okay, if I get mugged, what's the deal? And it's not just like an overall process. It's like every day you walk out of your house, you have to consider, what do I got on me? What if I get held up? What am I willing to give up? And most of the time the answer should be everything. But you're not always just walking around with everything. So for me, family jewelry, heirlooms, I'm gonna die for that thing. I'm going down for this bitch. Like, you're gonna have to actually kill me, take the finger and take the ring, and then you're gonna have to motherfucking hope that I don't find you afterwards, because like, I want the ring. So you're gonna have to hold me up for that, and it has nothing to do with fiscal value. And honest to God, if you were like, give me your 1 year coin or die, it's got the same weight and value of the family heirloom for me. So if I have 16 years, that's 15, carry this thing around. Now, I've been paranoid throughout my life that I have lost this, except for I always know where it's at. It's like my prized thing. I'd probably lose a child before I'd inevitably, in the long run of things, lose this thing, because that's the significance of it and me and how much it carries me. And the other piece for this in particular is I like to call these classics, and particularly when someone gets like a fresh coin and the classics, because I love the specialties. These are the OGs to me, because the people that came before us, the people that came before me, the people that started this program, the people that muddled through, the people that wrote a letter, the people that started a meeting, people that took that meeting and made it a group and connected to GSO, the people that did every single fraction of a minute piece of service, that kept this program attracting more and more of us and saving more and more of us, so that it became so well known that the opportunity to reach everyone is beyond, I think, anything any of us still today can dream, and that it's only going to grow more from that. And I don't ever want to forget the alcoholics that came before me. I don't ever want to forget who got me here, because this is a we program and we do this stuff together. And it started as a we. It's not an I, it started as a we. And then we just grows more and more. And I don't ever want to forget the OGs. And sometimes you get a coin that's recycled, and sometimes I like to give someone a fresh one. And I tell them that I want them to fill that coin. And I want them to put their history in it, so that someday that's going to be a history they give to someone else. So I got that puppy and I've been carrying her around forever. And then I have my cool fancy one that I got for my 16. I know it's all sparkly and shiny and catching up a light. So I have gotten to the point where I carry my first and my current. So I always have two. And I had a couple of cool ones that were individual, but then I got an OG 15 with my specialty 15 that we lost in the house pretty much right away, but not been able to find it. And then earlier today, swear to God, earlier today, I'm going through this little change bag from the kid to hide their little change so none of the other kids could find it and whatever. And I open it up, and inside with all the change is my 15-year coin that has been missing since I pretty much got it last July. But for my 15, and it was really great. And when I got my sponsor and have a cup of coffee and do my 5th, and I had this thing that I always wanted to do, and you know, on the back, you know, I always wanted to pray with, and it's, you know, God, I offer myself to thee, to build with me and to do with me as thou wilt. Relieve me of the bondage of self, that I may better do thy will. Take away any difficulties, that victory over them may bear witness to those I would help of thy love, of thy power, thy love, and thy way of life. May I do thy will always. So I'm talking about coins and JuJus and anniversaries, and this thing just like shows up. So I was holding on to that with my stuff today. And then the last piece that I want to give you for this act, I'll show you a trick after, but I have a friend, and she hasn't found the right home group for herself right now. She's in between. And so she hasn't gotten a coin, and I know she's not really expecting one. And I'm going to get to see her soon because we're doing a recovery thing together. And so I have been carrying around her coin with my coins. So she gets all that love and all that JuJu when I get to give her her coin. And that's a lot of meetings, and that's a lot of recovery, and that's a lot of working with others. It's a lot of things that go into that. And that is like the bulk of a lot of the coin JuJu that I mentioned. So, but I do have just a little bit of fun. So I had to figure out, I had a better case, and then this little jewelry box got tattered down or something, I don't know. So I was like, well, what do I do with all of my other coins? And so this nice little velvety bag that the tie also came off of. And then I was like, I don't know how, but it wound up in one of these little cases. And it finally just got to the point after putting in my OG 15 that I don't actually know if I can fit. I guess I'll try putting that 15 on top. I think I can close it. It's probably going to be the end of it. But I do have them in there. And I have my story. I have my history. This is one of my favorites. Bill and Bob Quarantine. Sponsor knocked that one out of the park for 13. Hot pink. God love them. That Phoenix. That one was perfect for that year. And before that was all my different OGs, but they're really cool. And some of them are actually really special and unique. And some of them are old as all get out. I have no idea how many people held those coins. Because, I mean, like, the lighting is poor, but the thing's pretty much like black. So, with all of this, except for the one that's not mine, and whatever else I gain between now and the time of my death, when I die, I want these to all go back into the rooms that I call homes, order the program, because I want these things out there. I got a kid that says he wants called dibs on stuff first. I don't really know how I feel about that. Whatever. I'll be dead. Figure it out. So that's fine, but you know, there's a whole lot of history that we carry. And it's not to say I have all these coins. It's to say, do you know how much has happened in every year of that? But I'm still here standing, and I still bring a message of hope. And I continue every day to acknowledge the fact that I'm going to get more. I'm going to learn more. And the other pro tip I had for you, by the way, so if I carry my 1 year coin, right, and I carry my current year coin, so I got my 1 and I got my 16. 1 plus 16 equals 17, which is the year that I'm working towards. So it kind of just gives me that little like reminder of everything that keeps going. And I said I was going to talk a little bit about the surrender coin, and there's not a whole lot to say except for I really think everyone should carry one on you. I keep them by my bedside. Those are away. Those don't sit out. They don't go on display. None of them. But this sits next to my mother's urn, next to a prayer, next to the things that are most important to me on my bedside, next to my inhaler for my asthma, okay? It's one of the first things I see, because I cannot ever, ever, ever forget the entire process of surrender. Like, yeah, I got that. And I always carry one on me because I've actually had the opportunity to talk to someone and meet up with them or whatever, and literally be able to pull one out of my pocket, out of my wallet, out of whatever, and hand it to someone. They had no expectation of that, obviously. How many people carry around coins? Let's be real. Probably not a whole lot of people, but maybe this will be a thing you consider. All these yets. You haven't yet started carrying around a surrender coin, but you could. I've also, with children in the family that get invested or whatever, I've also said that that's not a bad idea. But for them, it's a reminder that every day is a new day, you know, because it's a complicated program for us. So to explain the simplicity of it to someone that would probably get it better than us, we're not good at that. But it's a reminder for all of us that, like, we're only in today. We have 24 hours. That's it. We've got 24 hours. Nothing more. I have nothing more. And I'm not even carried those 24. Those 24 hours can get chopped off at any point. I can get 20 minutes out of a 24-hour period. So I got to take everything that I got. But that's all that we have. So I need to surrender constantly. I need to be focused on the 24 hours I have. And for me, I want to be prepared to be available just in case somebody needs to know, like, you are fucking awesome. Are you kidding me? Oh, you just stopped 5 minutes ago? Fucking hey, bro. Yo, take this. And here's my number. Here's a whatever. But I've used them. I've given them away. And then every time I just replenish the stack. So, surrender is amazing. 50 Ways from Sunday. And it's a really simple gesture to have this on you. And if you never use it, isn't it really helping you anyway, too? It's not hurting any of us. But I think it could do a world of good, too. But, again, just my opinion. And you can be like, the bitch is stupid. Why the hell would I do that? I don't have pockets. I don't do this. I don't do that. I don't really care. Put it in your glove box. Put it in whatever. I don't really care. Put it in your bra. Men, I'm sure you will find a comfortable enough awkward place just like we do. You'll have your own version of a bank. Make it work. And the last thing that I said, and I am at that magic, still Heather overtalk time, but it actually is the perfect thing. 8 years ago today, I shared the keeper of the coins. Tonight, I took on a commitment that belonged to my original sponsor. Since her death 2 years ago, it's fell by the wayside. And after the second person didn't have a coin for their anniversary tonight, I stepped up for my home group in a way I can honor her memory. I logged all the coins for up to 50 years and already ordered, I did it in the meeting, I think, new ones, so no one will ever not have that tangible piece of their recovery I personally cherish so much. When the time one day comes to pass this commitment on, I'll also pass on this coin, so they'll always be reminded that this program works if you work it, and as Jan always said, it works if you want it. And the coin that I had said on one side, I am powerless, but not helpless. And on the other side, we cannot control the direction of the wind, but we can adjust our sails. It's a lovely picture of a ship caught in the wind. And I'd actually already given that coin to someone else for something that I felt was really, really important for them, and that's okay. And ironically, guess who to this day is still doing the coin commitments? Mail, drop off, in person, the level of things that I have done. And I would love to show you the coin box, but currently that's what you're propped up on. Shit you not. Maybe another time I'll find a way to hold this thing and do something else with it. I don't know. But just know that right now, whenever I speak to you, my setup is the coin box for that coin commitment, the study edition of the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous, and then my little stand. So, as always, thanks for letting me overshare. And per my little pro tip for the video, please feel free to drop a link and subscribe. Also, share, because I don't know if I'm going to quite get to the point of doing all that yet, but I'd love it if you did.